Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. First, we'll take a moment to introduce ourselves. My name is Denise Amorjanos. I'm a PDHP counselor providing support and prevention services to St. Kevin Catholic Academy and Our Lady of Mercy Catholic Academy in Queens, New York.
And my name is Lisa Bichello. I provide PDHP counseling and prevention support services to Sacred Heart Catholic Academy of Bayside in Queens, New York. I also serve as a regional coordinator overseeing services to the Catholic academies in Queens. Today, we'll be talking about navigating social media, AI, and healthy connections. While we want to point out that this is a guide specifically tailored for parents of middle school students, we welcome anyone to join us today. Our goal is to provide practical information, strategies, and support so you can help your child safely and confidently navigate the digital world, while also fostering strong relationships, resilience, and balance in their everyday lives.
When we talk about parenting in today's world, we really have to understand just how central technology is in our teens' lives. 95% of teens use smartphones daily. For many of them, group texts, gaming chats, and shared videos aren't just entertainment. They are their primary social space. That's where friendship happens, that's where drama happens, and that's where connection happens. 90% of teens report using social media, and 3/4 of them have at least one active profile right now. About half of these teens say they're visiting social media at least once every single day. For many, it's much more than that. On average, teens are spending close to 9 hours online every day, and that does not include schoolwork. So we're talking about the equivalent of a full-time job in terms of screen time. And now, we also have AI tools entering the picture. 7 out of 10 teens report regularly interacting with tools like ChatGPT, sometimes for homework, sometimes out of curiosity, and sometimes just for fun. The takeaway here isn't that technology is good or bad. It's that it's deeply embedded in their daily lives. If we want to understand our kids, their stress, their friendships, their identity development, we have to understand the digital spaces they're spending so much time in.
We want to pause here and acknowledge something very important. Social media is not all negative. When used in healthy ways, it can actually offer some real benefits for kids and teens. For many students, social media helps them feel included and socially connected. Especially for kids who may struggle socially in person, online spaces can sometimes feel safer or easier to navigate. It also provides an outlet for creativity and self-expression. Whether it's art, music, humor, video editing, or writing, kids are creating and sharing in ways that we didn't have access to at their age. Social media also allows kids to explore interests and identities. They can find communities centered around hobbies, passions, cultural identity, or causes they care about. That sense of belonging can be very powerful. And of course, it offers entertainment and shared experiences. Memes, trends, videos, these became part of their social language. Being part of that helps them feel connected to peers. When used appropriately, it can even support learning, whether that's educational content, study groups, or exposure to new ideas. So the goal is not to eliminate technology, it's to help our kids use it in ways that support their well-being rather than undermine it.
While there are benefits to social media, we also have to be honest about the real risks. Social media can disrupt sleep, attention, and mood. Many students are staying up later than they should, checking notifications in the middle of the night, or feeling emotionally activated before bed. We know that lack of sleep alone can significantly impact mental health, focus, and emotional regulation. It can also affect the development of social skills and empathy. When so much communication happens through screens, kids don't always get practice reading facial expressions, tone, or body language. That can make in-person interactions harder. There's also the constant social pressure. The pressure to respond right away, to keep streaks going, to compare themselves to others, and to keep up. And with that comes FOMO, the fear of missing out, which can heighten anxiety and feelings of exclusion. Conflicts can escalate very quickly online. Group chats and screenshots can turn small misunderstandings into large social issues in minutes. What used to stay between two kids can suddenly involve 20. Social media can also normalize inappropriate language or behavior. When something is repeated enough, it starts to feel normal, even when it's not healthy or appropriate. And perhaps most concerning, students can be exposed to content they are not emotionally ready to process. Even if they're not searching for it, it can appear in their feed. Again, the goal isn't fear, it's awareness. When we understand the risks, we're better equipped to guide and support our kids.
We want to spend a minute here specifically to talk about group chats, because this is where we see a lot of social stress play out. For many kids, group chats feel mandatory. Even if no one explicitly says that, there's often an unspoken rule that if you leave the chat, you're leaving the group. So students may stay in conversations that are unhealthy or uncomfortable simply because they don't want to risk social consequences. Misunderstandings can also escalate very quickly in group chats. Without tone of voice, facial expression, or context, messages can easily be misread. A joke can feel like an insult. A short response can seem rude. And once multiple kids start reacting, things can spiral fast. There's also the issue of screenshots. Mistakes that might once have been private can now become permanent. A comment made impulsively can be saved, shared, and resurfaced later. That changes how conflict unfolds and how long it lasts. And finally, kids may feel pressured to participate even when they're uncomfortable, whether that's laughing at something inappropriate, responding to drama, or staying silent when something doesn't feel right. The social pull is very strong. Understanding the dynamics of group chats can help us better understand some of the social and emotional stress our kids are carrying.
AI is another area that's becoming part of our students' everyday lives. It absolutely can be a helpful learning and brainstorming tool. It can help students generate ideas, organize thoughts, practice writing, or explore topics they're curious about. When used thoughtfully, it can support learning. At the same time, AI is not perfect. It can give incorrect information, it can provide answers that sound confident but aren't accurate, and occasionally it may generate content that isn't age appropriate. There's also a developmental piece to consider. If students rely on AI to do the thinking for them, it can replace problem solving and critical thinking. Struggling through a challenge, even feeling stuck or frustrated, is actually an important part of learning. That's how resilience builds. If AI becomes a shortcut every time something feels hard, students may build less frustration tolerance. And middle schoolers, in particular, are still developing judgment and self-regulation. They need guidance in how to use these tools responsibly and ethically. So again, the goal isn't to ban it or fear it. It's to teach students how to use it as a support, not a substitute, for their own thinking.
We know that middle school is a really important developmental stage. At this age, students are still actively developing empathy, impulse control, and perspective taking. Their brains are growing rapidly, especially in areas that help with decision making and emotional regulation. That means they are capable of amazing insight, but they are also still learning how to pause, think ahead, and fully understand the impact of their words and actions. Face-to-face interactions are incredibly important during this stage. In-person conversations help build resilience, confidence, and real conflict resolution skills. When kids navigate disagreements in real time, reading body language, hearing tone, repairing misunderstandings, they build muscles that screens simply don't strengthen in the same way. And one of the most powerful protective factors we have isn't an app or a filter, it's connection. Strong adult-child relationships are one of the biggest safeguards against online harm. When kids feel heard, respected, and safe at home, they are much more likely to come to a parent or trusted adult when something goes wrong online. That doesn't mean they'll tell us everything immediately, but it does mean the door is open. And that open door matters more than any monitoring tool.
We also want to clarify the role of the school in all of this. Schools address concerns that impact students during the school day. If something online is affecting a child's ability to feel safe, focus, or function in school, we absolutely step in. But many online interactions begin and continue outside of school hours. That's why partnership is so important. Schools can reinforce expectations, provide education, and support students when issues spill into the school environment. But we rely on families as partners when it comes to monitoring, guiding, and setting boundaries around technology use at home. When communication between home and school is open, we're able to respond much more effectively. If we know what's happening outside of school, we can better support students inside of school. And when families know what we're seeing during the day, it gives helpful context at home. This really works best when it's collaborative, not reactive. We're on the same team, working towards the same goal, helping our kids grow up healthy, safe, and responsible in a digital world.
We want to emphasize something that sounds simple but is incredibly powerful. Sleep matters. We consistently see that screen time before bed increases anxiety and reduces sleep quality. The light from devices interferes with melatonin production, and the content itself, whether it's social media, gaming, or group chats, can keep kids mentally and emotionally activated long after they put the phone down. And when sleep suffers, everything else suffers: mood, attention, resilience, and emotional regulation. One practical step that families can consider is creating a family media plan. This might include clear screen time limits, device curfews, and charging phones outside of bedrooms overnight. Removing the temptation at night can dramatically reduce stress, even if there is initial resistance. Consistency is key. When expectations are clear and predictable, kids actually feel more secure, even if they push back. The pushback is developmentally normal. The structure is still helpful. And this is important. Boundaries are protection, not punishment. They're not about control. They're simply about supporting healthy development. Our kids may not always thank us in the moment, but structure communicates safety.
We like to mention 4 simple tips and strategies: balance, boundaries, communication, and connection. First, balance. Encourage sports, hobbies, face-to-face interactions with friends, and even unstructured downtime. Kids need spaces where they can move their bodies, be creative, be bored, and just exist without a screen in front of them. A full life offline naturally reduces over-reliance online. Second, boundaries. Set clear rules about group chats, posting, and private messaging. It's okay to say no to certain apps. It's okay to delay social media. It's okay to require access to passwords. Clarity reduces confusion, and kids do better when expectations are clear. Third, communication. Ask curious, open-ended questions. Instead of leading with interrogation, try things like, "What's your group chat like these days?" Or "What's the funniest thing you've seen online this week?" Curiosity keeps the door open. And finally, connection. Regular check-ins matter more than constant monitoring. Software can filter content, but it cannot replace a relationship. When kids feel consistently connected to us, when they know we're steady and available, that becomes their safety net. We're not aiming for perfection. We're aiming for presence, consistency, and partnership, and that makes a real difference.
Here are a few warning signs that can suggest a child might need extra support. If you notice increased secrecy around devices, hiding screens, quickly switching apps, or being protective of passwords, that's worth paying attention to. Sudden mood changes that seem tied to phone use are another red flag. A child who gets anxious, irritable, or withdrawn after checking social media or messages may be struggling. Withdrawal from friends, activities, or hobbies they normally enjoy is also a signal. Sometimes what looks like typical teenage behavior can actually indicate stress linked to their digital life. And finally, anxiety about missing messages or being online, constantly checking notifications, or expressing worry about being left out can be a sign that online interactions are impacting their emotional well-being. If any of these patterns appear, please don't hesitate to reach out to your child's school counselor, a mental health professional, or another trusted adult. Early support can prevent small issues from turning into bigger problems.
As we are almost ready to wrap up, we want to leave you with this key message. Together, we can support our kids. Technology is a big part of their world, but relationships, the connections they have with us, shape who they become. Parents are powerful role models. You don't need to be perfect. What matters most is being present and consistent. Your guidance, your involvement, and the way you show up day to day are the biggest factors in your child's safety and success. And remember, you are not alone in this. Teachers and school counselors are here to partner with you. We want to support you in staying informed, proactive, and confident in helping your child navigate these challenges. Please don't hesitate to reach out anytime with questions or concerns. We're here to help.
We also want to take a moment to make sure everyone knows what support is available, both at school and in the community. At school, students should know who their trusted adults are, the people they can check in with during the day if something is worrying them. And when concerns do arise, collaboration between the school and family is essential. That partnership is how we can respond effectively and early. In the community, there are licensed mental health providers, psychologists, social workers, and therapists who can help kids and families navigate stress, anxiety, or other challenges. Pediatricians can be a resource too, especially if concerns relate to sleep, mood, or overall well-being. Local mental health agencies also provide support and resources. And in a crisis, if you're ever concerned about your child's immediate safety, you can call or text 988, which is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If there is immediate danger, contact local emergency services right away. It's important to know these resources exist. You don't have to handle challenging situations alone. Finally, we've included our contact information here. You can see our names, email addresses, and the days we're available at each school. If you are a parent at any of our 3 school communities, please do not hesitate to reach out with questions, concerns, or just to check in. We're here to support both you and your children, and we welcome communication at any time. If you are a parent at a different school community, please reach out to your principal for PDHP contact information.
We want to sincerely thank you all for joining us today, for taking the time to engage with this important topic. Have a great day.